Hello and welcome. I'm Sonal Mehrotra Kapoor, and this Sunday is packed with voting taking place in Punjab in a single phase in the all-crucial third phase of polls in UP. We'll be joined by my colleagues Alok Pandey from Uttar Pradesh. We've got Saurabh Shukla also from Uttar Pradesh and Mohammad Ghazali joining us from Punjab. It's Judgment Day there. Remember, 59 constituencies spread across 16 districts in Uttar Pradesh will be voting in the make or break third phase, which is said to be for the Samajwadi Party. If they want to win, they have to win big in this phase. Also, when it comes to Punjab, voting has already now started in both those states from 8 a.m. onwards in Punjab, 7 a.m. onwards in UP. Punjab has seen a high-voltage political drama recently in the last leg of campaigning. The state saw a desperate shift in agenda, leaving towards religious identity and separatism as well. But let's look at Punjab first. Now, in the 2017 polls, Congress had ended the SAD-BJP combined 10-year regime by bagging 77 seats there. Aam Aadmi Party had managed to win 20, while the BJP had won 18. Now, 2 seats went to Lok Insaf Party as well. As Congress tries to, get hold of Punjab now, a multi-cornered contest will see BJP contesting for the first time without Akali Dal in Punjab. Captain Amrinder Singh removed, unceremoniously as the Chief Minister last time, quit the Congress party, started his new party, now in an alliance with the BJP. And in middle of it all, Aam Aadmi Party wanting to be a king player, in fact, coming out as the dominant party there as well. Prominent faces also contesting today. Mr. Channi, who we saw at Gurudwaras in the morning, also at a temple, then later on. Interesting battles are happening in seats like Amritsar, where Navjot Singh Sidhu is up against Shiromani Akali Dal's Bikram Singh Majitia. Captain Amrinder Singh is still fighting from Patiala. Sukhbir Singh Badal from Jalalabad. Prakash Singh Badal from Lambi seat as well. So lots of interesting fights there happening. These are the pictures I was referring to earlier. The Chief Minister there, Mr. Channi, at various Gurudwaras, and also then at this Shiv temple a little later. In fact, this is what he said.
पंजाब का भला हो, पंजाब की तरक्की हो, पंजाब में आने वाली सरकार बहुत अच्छी बने। आगे परमात्मा की मर्जी, अब लोगों की मर्जी है। हमने सब कुछ अपनी तरफ से ज्यादा कोशिश की है। अब जो लोग चाहेंगे, जो परमात्मा चाहेगा।
All right. So Ghazali joins us now. Ghazali, very interesting fight. Many saying that Aam Aadmi Party, if they really have any chance, they have to make it big this time around. A lot at stake for that party. A lot at stake for Captain Amrinder Singh's future as well in how Punjab will be voting. And then for BJP perhaps to get an understanding of where they stand without their allies. Allies, remember, who quit over the farmers' issue. How big is that this election? All of these things come to rest today.
Yeah, certainly stakes are high for every party and every big or political heavyweight of Punjab, be it Amrinder Singh, be it Charanjit Singh Channi, Navjot Singh Sidhu, Bikram Majitia, Sukhbir Badal. And if you go by every party and every personality, you know why stakes are high. Akali Dal lost the election. They had their worst performance in 2017 in the previous polls when their tally came down below 20. They just got to retain 15 seats, or they got 15 MLAs. Then they split their alliance. They broke their alliance with the BJP. BJP is fighting on its own in alliance with Amrinder's new party. Amrinder Singh is no more with Congress. He is trying that at least at best he should win Patiala urban seat, which he has been representing for so long. As far as Congress is concerned, you have Navjot Singh Sidhu, Charanjit Singh Channi fight going on since Amrinder Singh was sacked. That never settled for Congress. Only on the last day of campaigning, all the top 3 leaders, Charanjit Singh Channi, Navjot Sidhu, Jakhar, they all came together for a photo op while releasing their party manifesto. But throughout this in the last 6 to 7 months since Amrinder Singh was sacked, Congress could never set its house in order. Now, has that created any sort of confusion among voters? voters. The similar reports are coming in from Patiala as well, because Amrinder Singh had been with Congress. So even in Patiala, many voters are confused whether to go with Congress or with Captain Amrinder Singh. Lot of his stakes is high for Aam Aadmi Party, because they always had this ambition to govern a full-fledged state, unlike Delhi. So they have roped in their energy here. Arvind Kejriwal, Bhagwant Mann, they have been campaigning with that particular word, that Punjab needs badlav or change. Now that is resonating in rural areas. Almost everywhere we went, at least in rural areas, some of the voters were more inclined towards Bhagwant Mann and Kejriwal's campaign there. The multiple road shows happened. But the same situation was there back in 2017 as well. We had seen same sort of euphoria, same sort of wave, what we called last time as well. Lots of crowds used to attend Bhagwant Mann's speeches. Many people attended Arvind Kejriwal's Maghi rally in Muksa. But that didn't translate for votes. And one particular party, Shiromani Akali Dal, and why everybody is placing their bets on Akali Dal as well, because they say that it's a regional party. They certainly know the nerves of the people, and two particular issues for which electorates punished them back in 2017, as the opposition suggests, that the sacrilege and drug issue was the one for which Akali Dal was sort of punished by the voters, and they were reduced to 15 seats. But none of these two issues were resolved in Congress's rule in the last 5 years. That has given some edge to Akali Dal to go and campaign among its own voters who had drifted away to either Aam Aadmi Party or the Congress, that we were not involved. It was a political conspiracy. So somewhere Akali Dal feels that it has managed to convince its voters that all those allegations, whether it was for drugs, they have a very interesting sort of logic saying that can one FIR end the entire drug menace in Punjab? That one particular FIR which was registered against Bikram Majithia. So somewhere or the other, it is all about who has better convinced its electorates, or whether voters are convinced with the traditional parties, or they are really looking for a change in terms of Aam Aadmi Party.
I just wanted to understand from you, a lot of people don't remember that the first time farmers' protest really got national attention was when the SAD walked out of the cabinet on that issue. Do you think they managed to capitalize on that as the days progress? I mean, farmers' protests today are defining not just Punjab polls, but even how Western UP voted. How throughout the country you're seeing a resistance now. So do you think SAD ended up capitalizing on that at all?
No, I don't think they could manage to capitalize on that, because when the momentum was building up for the farmers' protest, when the ordinance was passed, and days after ordinance was passed, actually the farmers' protest started from Punjab in November 2020. But the ordinance was passed in June or July, in the month of June and July, and since then the protest was building up. But from June till September, the Akali Dal's top leaders from Badal family, they all released videos saying that they supported the agitation. Farmers had to sort of sit on a strike or sit on protest outside their homes and their native place in Badal village. But after splitting, they tried really hard to convince the voters that it's a sacrifice on part of Akali Dal to split their alliance after 25 years. But perhaps in that very month or period, it could never convince the farmers. But it is a fact that almost in every village, Akali Dal has got their cadres, and many of them participated in farmers' agitation, which Akali Dal, just because in time they couldn't sort of break their alliance, they couldn't capitalize on the fact that their own cadres were involved in farmers' agitation.
All right, so interesting battle there. Unlike the two-cornered fight that we've generally seen in Punjab, this time around a multi-way fight. Lots of CM hopefuls at the moment, even sometimes within one party. So this is going to be a very fascinating election. We'll keep coming back to you, Ghazali, and hopefully with some voters as well, to try and understand what issues are dominating their mind. Talking about what's dominating minds in UP as well, let's take a look at that. Now, after phase 3 today, nearly half of UP would have voted. 172 seats will finish of the 403 over there. And remember, this is a make or break phase for Samajwadi Party. If they want to form government, they have to win big in this phase. In 2017, for example, BJP got about 49 of these 59 seats. Samajwadi won just 9. Congress also got some. BSP could not even get a single vote in this phase. Now, all eyes today are on the Karhal seat as well, where the Yadav family will be voting. It's a stronghold there. But interestingly, for the first time, Akhilesh Yadav is jumping in to the local, in fact, to state elections, and he's fighting from that area. Also fighting against him, giving a challenge of sorts, is BJP's Union Minister, SP Singh Baghel, who has come into there. But it is a stronghold, remember, of the Samajwadi Party. They have only lost it once since 1992. That's when the party actually came into power. Apart from that, Bundelkhand is a huge region. BJP won about 19 seats there. It used to be a stronghold of the BSP, but how will they vote this time around could also be a defining factor. Among cities and urban areas, Kanpur, one of the big cities that is also voting today. Okay, let's go to reporters now. Alok Pandey, Saurabh Shukla, both with us. Alok and Saurabh, good morning. Alok, tell us, where are you and what's the dominating issue in that area? Like I said, it's make or break for SP. If they want to form government, they have to win big in this phase.
Well, Sonal, I am very much in Lucknow. This seat is not voting today, but I have absolutely no intentions of stealing my colleague and friend Saurabh's thunder in Saifai or Karhal. So I'll be very quick. I'll just sum up what you've already told us. The fact that this is a make or break election or electoral phase for the Samajwadi Party. In 2017, like you pointed out, the BJP had done very well on these 59 seats. They'd won 49 out of these 59 seats. But before that election, in the 2012 election, when the Samajwadi Party rode to power in Uttar Pradesh, they had done quite well here. I think they won about 35 seats, if I'm not wrong, out of these seats that are polling in phase 3. So a lot of the seats in the central part of UP particularly are those that are dominated by the Samajwadi Party or that have been previously dominated by the Samajwadi Party. So they need to regain that dominance in that area and hope to do well in Bundelkhand, like you said, which is the southern part of Uttar Pradesh and is one of the most impoverished areas of the state, and which is where the BJP put in a stellar performance in 2017, winning all 19 seats across, I think, 8 or 9 districts. And that's something that was a very remarkable performance because it's been a traditional stronghold of the Bahujan Samaj Party also, the Bundelkhand area. And then, of course, you have some areas like Western UP also voting, for instance, Hathras, where you had that gruesome crime which dominated the headlines. But one wonders whether that is affecting voting patterns in any way. I think we'll get a sense from our reporters who are there and also from Saurabh, my colleague, who is in Karhal.